Hi, I'm Jason Sullivan of Rathbone Group, and this is going to be a follow-up to our Florida PIP commercial reimbursement video. I wanted to provide 3 common situations which come up which I think bear some repeating. These are issues that will occur on your PIP Florida commercial reimbursement cases that will result in either a lower recovery or no recovery at all, and if you can identify them at the outset of your subrogation recovery handling, it may save you from wasting time on a claim or pinpoint you in the right direction to go. The first key here, that emergency medical condition requirement. In order for an injured party to be entitled to the full $10,000 in PIP payments under a Florida policy, there needs to be a finding of an emergency medical condition. There's lots of websites out there and plaintiffs' attorneys that are saying insurance companies are being too strict and they're not paying when people are really injured because there's not that specific finding and it's unfair to injured parties. I am seeing on the other side where sometimes the full $10,000 PIP payments are made by a carrier and there's nothing in the file to document from a medical provider that there was an emergency medical condition. Whenever you turn around and make that claim against a commercial vehicle owner or their insurer, that's the first thing they always ask for. Where's the proof that there was an emergency medical condition? Or did you just pay the $10,000 as a goodwill gesture and it was a voluntary payment and therefore you have no right of recovery? So make sure your file includes that emergency medical condition documentation, and that will get you in the right step of going forward. The second scenario that can come up is, what happens if your insured is also the owner of the commercial vehicle? As we discussed in our first video, the Florida commercial reimbursement allows a PIP carrier that pays PIP benefits to seek reimbursement from a commercial vehicle owner or their insurer that owned the vehicle that the injured party was an occupant of at the time of the collision. A lot of times, people have a small business that they own on their own, and they also have a personal vehicle policy that they have. So you have, call him Joe the plumber, who is driving around in his work truck. He does have a PIP policy covering him, and he gets into a collision. You pay out the PIP $10,000, and now you're going to go after the commercial vehicle owner, who actually happens to be your insured. Now, it may not be him personally, but there's a Joe Plumber LLC that you want to pursue. That's also your insured, and so now you have this issue of, do we want to make the business decision to pursue our own insured to get that money back? Now, a lot of you may be saying, well, wait a minute, we can go after the insurance company. And yes, that's true. If there's a commercial policy that insured that commercial vehicle, then you're going to be recovering the money from that commercial insurance policy. But if there is no commercial policy, if your insured is self-insured on the business side of things and doesn't have a specific policy covering that commercial vehicle, now you're stuck with only being able to go after the commercial vehicle owner. And this can get a little confusing when there's a TPA that's handling the commercial vehicle. There's actually no policy, but that TPA looks like they're an insurer. And so if you go ahead and file suit against them, you may find out there's actually no underwriting policy and you're just stuck with your own commercial vehicle owner to pursue. And if that's your insured, now you have that difficult situation and you may have incurred suit costs when at the outset, if you would have known all these facts, you wouldn't have done so. The third situation is, what happens if your insured waives or signs away your PIP reimbursement right? Now, I'm going to argue that it's impossible for your insured to waive your PIP reimbursement right. That reimbursement right is statutory. It has nothing to do with your insured. If you pay the PIP benefits, the statute entitles you to pursue the commercial vehicle owner or their insurer. But if your insured settles their BI claim with the adverse party, and this is going to come up when your insured is a pedestrian struck by a commercial vehicle. So they pursued that commercial vehicle owner and probably the driver as well. They come to a settlement. That commercial vehicle owner, their insurer, they want to resolve all claims. So they give your insured a release that says, we're going to take care of everything, and now you're responsible for any liens, including PIP claims. If your insured signs that release, well, if the other carrier was on notice, we can argue that that's not a waiver of the subrogation right. but that release is probably going to have indemnity language, and now your insured, by signing that release, has agreed to repay the money that other carrier is going to have to pay to you. It's a difficult situation because you want to be able to recover, and it's not really right that your insured would waive your subrogation claim by signing that release. But you are now creating an exposure to your insured. So there's no way to really prevent this from happening, and if an insured's attorney tells the insured to sign a release that includes that language, there's nothing you can do about it. However, if you do provide notice to the insured or their attorney that you are pursuing your PIP reimbursement rights by the statute, you're not seeking anything from the insured, but you're giving them the courtesy to know that you're going to pursue this claim, and therefore they should not sign any release that requires them to indemnify the at-fault commercial carrier for those PIP payments. So I hope those 3 common pitfalls in the Florida PIP situation are helpful for you. If you have any topics that you'd like to see us record in the future, please email us at video@rathbonegroup.com. I'm Jason Sullivan for Rathbone Group, and that's the long and short of it.